keep menstrual hygiene right to make your future bright. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Richa Dutt, and my co host Disha welcomes you all on behalf of Sarkari School in today's session of Virtual National Conference, where experts talk about the health and fitness aspects of menstruation. First of all, I would like to call Pitsala for the welcome address. Pitsala, over to you.
Thank you. Improving menstrual health can lead to long lasting effects on women's overall education, health, and well being. Professor Helen. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, I, on behalf of Sarkari School, welcome you all to this event, Vedana Conference. Expert talks about health and fitness aspect of menstruation organized by Project Vedana. This panel is dedicated to the importance of health and fitness aspect of menstruation. A lack of information about menstruation leads to damaging misconception and discrimination and can cause girls to miss out on normal childhood experience and activities. And today, to highlight this topic, it is my immense pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to all the worthy speakers and delegates who, apart from their busy schedule, join us today to be a part of the conference. I welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Trishti Asthana, Ms. Chitra Singh, Ms. Mansa Shithamba, Dr. Mithali Rathor, Ms. Neha Khandeka, and our student speaker, Priyanka Bomic, Ananya Gupta, Disha Gibb. We are so honored and excited to hear from all of you as our guest speaker and be inspired. Thank you.
Thank you, Pitsala.
Over half the world menstruates at one time or another, but you would never know it. Precisely what menstruation is not yet very well known. Right, Disha?
Yeah, Richa. So, without taking much time, let's start our session and know about menstruation, problems related to it, and their effective solutions in detail from our panelists. But before that, let's have a brief introduction of our guests.
Our first guest is Ms. Trishti Asthana, who is a practicing psychologist and mental health advocate. She has extensive experience in group interventions, training programs, self healing, and awareness workshops. She has taken sessions with leading educational institutions like Ramanujan College, Indian School of Home Economics, Lovely Professional University, and organizations like NTPC, NSPCL, Tata Power, among others. She has provided interventions to 100 plus clients to guide them into overcoming their life's challenges. She is working extensively towards raising awareness on mental health issues through her social media platform by the name Words of a Psychologist. The stage is all yours, ma'am. Shristi, ma'am, please continue.
Hello. Hello. Hi, am I
Yes, ma'am.
audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
So first of all, I didn't expect that I'd be the first one to go. And okay, pleasant surprise, but let me just start. So this is a topic I've contemplated about 2-3 months ago in February. I'd done a workshop on menstruation and mental health also. So at that time, I think I really felt like we are existing in an age of contradictions. We think that because our generations, I mean, people who are below 30 and younger, because they talk a lot, they think that there is awareness and we have all the information and all the access to the right approach. But just because we're speaking a lot on something doesn't mean we're speaking the right thing, you know. So there definitely with communication comes certain benefits and certain like disadvantages as well. So I see a lot of the kind of problems that I see, that I notice even right now. Currently, I'm working as a school counselor. So in that setting, um, there is so much stigma and taboo around it still, where like everything is hidden, everything is hush hush, and then some teachers like not in, I won't say in my school, but then I've also come across when I was in school, I'd also come across teachers who would say things like, what girls just take the excuse of menstruation and they want to spend hours and hours in the bathroom because, वो bunk करना चाहते हैं. So there's a lot of moral shaming also that is, happening around menstruation. सो अभी barely तो हमने टॉपिक पे बात करना शुरू किया है उसके अगेंस्ट देयर इज सो मच कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी थिंग्स दैट आर गोइंग ऑन इन आवर सोसाइटी व्हिच इज एब्सोल्युटली appalling. And to think that our teenagers are growing in an environment where teachers don't trust them enough to even allow them to go to the washroom when they're menstruating, to believe the girls when they're saying that, oh my God, my stomach hurts, my back hurts. I've even heard people saying things like, oh, that is to seek attention. I've had clients telling me that, they've heard friends, partners who say things like, what, har mahine to hota hai, get on with it. Why are you overreacting? Why are you not adjusting to it? Why are you not adapting to it? Everyone has a different pain threshold. Everyone has a different toleration for what goes on in their body. And that is not something that is voluntarily in the control of individuals. If one had control over their pain tolerance, why would they want to go through pain in the first place? Is my question to people who think that way. So, out of the way, we have to go and educate the younger generation. I think younger generation is doing fairly good. I think the conversation is relatively open. It is absolutely fine. But with the older generations and in the rural areas, there's still a lot of misconceptions, and there we have to work from the grassroots levels, and we have to spread awareness, and we need to talk about things, and also understanding that, like, so now when we're discussing menstruation, it's difficult to not speak and address about the products that are there to help women through the period of menstruation. So I have also seen some women shaming other women for not using menstrual cups, or making fun of women who use sanitary napkins, that, oh, tampons are superior. Now, I think this might be one of the most superficial points that I'm making, if some people might perceive it that way. But now, that kind of a derogatory language if women are using against women, that is also problematic. And I know these issues are deep rooted and systemic, and some faulty messages have also been given. But I think first and foremost, we need to support our fellow women through the process. Never question the pain of a fellow woman. And another thing is, when a woman is going through her menstruation, then ensuring that if we can't make things better for her, then we can at least not make it worse. Okay, that is very, very important. So, someone in the previous workshop had asked me how to help women, in when they are going through their cycle, and I think that sensitivity and awareness, and noticing the subtle cues, and understanding when who likes what. Like, for example, there is in the media you see like a woman with a huge tub of ice cream, and she's sitting and eating, and then suddenly she's feeling better. So you can't, just because some women prefer that doesn't mean every one is going to prefer that. Sometimes she might expect that, okay, you know what, today just go and buy the milk and come back instead of me. So whatever it is there to make, because this is a part of life, it is very much uh, the reality. Okay, so it is very important to deal with it with awareness, and not be like, oh, ye to aise hi hai, har mahine ka rona hai. And for me as a psychologist, it is extremely important to speak on social angle to each and every issue that is presented to me, because I think that in my understanding and experience, like, till as a society, as a community, as family, then as partners, as siblings, as parents, when that sense of support is not there through each and everything in life, then that is when we get into isolation, and then where everything starts feeling worse, and then that becomes a recipe for other challenges and issues as well. And so that is what I have to say on the societal issues. And apart from that, there are also disorders that are associated with menstruation. And in case anyone feels too much mood swings before their cycle, like let's say a week or 10 days before their cycle or during their cycle, to the point where it is hampering with their functioning, where they don't want to go to school, where they don't want to go to college, where they don't want to participate in day to day life, then they should seek consultation for their health, and one should never back out. And I think the best gift we can ever give to anyone is the gift of therapy or the gift of a doctor's consultation if the person is hesitant to go themselves. So this is what I had to say. I think that the community is to be supportive and aware and sensitive. That is how I'd like to conclude my section. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shrishti ma'am. Our second guest is Chitra Singh, who is a fourth year MBBS student, a menstrual health educator, and a medical content creator. She is a woman health enthusiast who believes that an accessible and unprejudiced woman healthcare system is the first step of a healthy and progressive society. She is the founder of Chitra's Girly Talk, a social media platform where we talk and learn everything about menstrual health and hygiene. Her aim is to debunk all the period myths and to create a gender inclusive and period positive world. She had collaborated with many organizations like Bindu, the EduGreen Initiative, the Lantern Tribe, and many more. Over to you, Chitra ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
So first of all, actually, I'm very agreed with Shrishti that if pain was in our control, we would never like to have pain, right?
Yeah.
And period pain is something that no one likes, no one. And today, I think most of us have been going through periods, और हमें पता नहीं है कि periods कैसे होते हैं, but we know कि if we are going to get periods, we are going to have pain, we are going to have mood swings, stress, and all of these things. So
Yeah.
today I would like to go deep into something like physical and mental health aspects of it, because we actually have read in our schools that how periods occur, but we never talk about what are the symptoms, what are the physical health, like physical symptoms that we get, what are the mental health symptoms that we get through periods. So what like most of us don't have a good relationship with periods. Like periods ka naam sunte we are never like periods aa gaye. We are always like periods, right? Because periods के साथ ये सारे mental और physical health के aspects जुड़े हैं. When I talk about physical health symptoms or physical symptoms, I am talking about stress. I'm talking about the mood swings. I'm talking about the backache, stomach ache, cramps, and some people also feel nauseous if their like period pain is too strong. But even then, they don't want to take painkillers that are available over the counters because of the myths. Like people say that if you take painkillers, no, आपका uterus खराब हो जाएगा, you are not going to get pregnant, and all these absurd myths that are associated with periods. So periods के symptoms को, periods के physical symptoms को, mental health symptoms को, we have to identify and we have to create awareness कि these are the symptoms. This is not only in our head, right? This is what a girl go through. You know, you can understand that some people might get a little bit of symptoms or low symptoms like less period pain or no period pain, but some people get very severe period pain, and this needs to be addressed, and this needs to be recognized. And when I go into the mental health aspects, we in the medical terms we call it PMS, that is premenstrual syndrome. And PMS is all about bloating, food cravings, irritability, and anxiety, mood swings, and all the symptoms that you get before 2 weeks or 10 days before your periods. And in some people, see, PMS is normal. Getting all these symptoms is normal if these symptoms come cyclically and these go after your periods, like 2 to 3 days before your periods or 2 to 3 days after your periods. If these symptoms go away, this is considered normal. But in some people, these symptoms get very much exaggerated. Like our psychologist said that these can take a severe form, and then we call it as PMDD, that is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And this is a recognized mental health disorder that needs to be addressed. So if someone is having severe mood swings, severe anxiety, if these things, start interfering their relationships, these things, start interfering your life activities, daily normal activities, then you must need a therapy, or you just need to go yourself checked at a gynecologist. And this was a shorter term aspect of the mental health, but if I go into the broader range, no, there comes many aspects, like for example period poverty, not having period products. Some people in rural areas are still using rags and clothes and whatnot to use. And yes, I agree with Shrishti that some people, make fun of you if you are not using menstrual cup. But why? Period product is a person's choice, right? And everybody has a choice to use what they should or not. Of course, period pads are non biodegradable, but that's a different aspect. We are here. First, we have to see that everyone has a period product. They are not using rags and all. Second thing, availability of period products in schools, and need of menstrual health education, need of education so that girls understand that this is not something dirty. This blood is pure. If you get a cut, the blood comes out. That blood is also coming out of the vagina. That we need to understand. And yeah, for this, I want to wrap up my my aspect of the physical and mental health, and I will not leave you with so much worry. So I just want to give you some tips, maybe for the when in if you are having symptoms like mood swings or cramps, maybe you can do yoga, you can do journaling, take rest. If someone is near you, like your mother or grandmother, tell them to give you a massage. So you need to tell them, you need to address these things, like this is not in my head, I'm going through it, and you need to understand that. This I want to say.
Thank you so much, Chitra ma'am. I hope everyone will adopt these steps so that they can reduce the period pain, period cramps. Now, our third guest is Mansa Shithamba. She was born in a middle class traditional Brahmin family of North Kannada, brought up with a lot of social and human values and patriotism. She is working as a STEM innovator and event manager at Maker Masti powered by Science Utsav. She is senior ex NCC cadet, now a proud life member at All India NCC Alumni Association, and also a woman menstrual health and hygiene educator. She is in her way to make healthy India by fighting against social taboos on menstruation and to eradicate cervical cancer and breast cancer in women. She gives awareness, right education, and introduces women to use eco-friendly healthy menstrual products like menstrual cup, period panty, and reusable pads. Let's hear it from Mansa ma'am. Over to you, Mansa ma'am.
Namaste, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. So, coming to menstruation topic, period for period poverty or the lack of medical awareness and outreach is a major reason for period poverty in world. That too, when it comes to our country, India, we have a period poverty. So, when it takes in India, 1.8 billion menstruating women are there, but they're not like it's a lack of period products. Due to lack of period products, we are actually facing this period poverty in India. I can say that in India, not just in India, in world, not just girls, women, transgender men, and also non-binary peoples also face this menstruation every month. But we don't have knowledge about that. We think only girls menstruate, women menstruate, but there are transgender men and even non-binary peoples also who menstruate, and they actually they fear to share their thoughts and while to get any of the period products. Also, we need to give them the exact medical awareness, and also we have to help them. So when it comes to like we have 1.8 billion people who is menstruating, but it's like only lakhs people who are using menstrual products. So still in India, there are like more than 50% women that too in the urban areas. Just leave the rural areas. In the urban areas, there are Many women who are using rags, ashes, and many a times sand and everything, which leads to infertility mainly, and which also causes cervical cancer and breast cancer in women. So we have to make sure that women should get perfect period products when they are yet to have their periods. For this, and in India, more than 71% of girls who don't have any knowledge before their first period. So, not just a mother of a girl child, even in the schools and her friends or her siblings should give them the knowledge about how to deal with this period. So, coming to my experience, whenever I meet my friends, not just the girls, even with the boys, I ask, is your friends, is your wife, or is like, are healthy enough? So make sure when you're having talks with your friends or with your siblings, just add a word that are you healthy? Are you getting all the menstrual products when you're facing your menstruation every month? So have that friendly talk with your buddies also. It's not just we are talking anything else. Yes, we do talk about our dressing sense, the taste and everything. But it's very important to talk about the menstruation and the menstruation products. So make sure whenever you reach any of your friends, whenever you meet any people, make sure to add that whether are you healthy, are you using the menstrual products? If not, help them with the menstrual products. We have many menstrual hygiene products. We can have a eco-friendly menstrual cups or the tampons, or we can have a reusable pads, and even we have a sanitary pads. We have these many things, but still many girls are using the ashes and sands. So we have to stop this. And when it comes to right awareness, it's not just we have to give the awareness to a girl child, it's very important to give awareness even for the boy child. Because if a girl is facing period and she's not getting any kind of period products, a mother or a teacher, anyone should give a boy a complete knowledge that he should help that girl in that moment. So make sure you're helping your even your brothers, your husband, your father, anyone. Period, first of all, we have to think menstruation is a natural process in every woman. So happy, like you have to feel happy that you are bleeding. So it's like a pure blood, it's not an impure blood. And make sure you are giving right knowledge and right education. And a few of the people also have a taboo or misconception that we are not supposed to speak in front of our father, our brother, or boyfriend, husband, someone. Or I also have that many mothers. When I recently met a 10 years old girl was while they're purchasing some menstrual product, girl child asked the mother that what are you purchasing, ma, mama, and what is this? And that mother is like, no, I'm not supposed to tell you now, so you'll get to know after few weeks. No, please stop doing this. So give them the right awareness from that. We don't have a particular age that we should give the awareness. So once they start talking, once they get to know the things, like in the 4 years and 5 years old, start giving your kids. It might be a boy child or a girl child. Give them the awareness. Tell them what is period, why girls face this every month, and make sure when mother is menstruating in the family, she should give the awareness to the husband, to her son, daughter, everyone. Tell them in the right way. Ask them this is and help them to know the menstrual product available, and also share your feelings if you are facing any kind of menstrual cramps or any kind of physical and emotional and even any kind of feelings. Just mention with the share with your kids, so let them know. It's not, we don't have any particular age to give them the awareness. So make sure you are giving right awareness about the menstruation even to your boy child, so that one day they'll help a girl child to deal with this menstruation. And in India, mainly menstruation poverty, period poverty, we have many of the girls are facing issues where they're getting back from the schools. They can't go to the schools, and even this is the major issue what Indians are facing. So we have to make sure that speak to the school children and have a awareness that what you are facing. And we have many social and like even the traditional taboo that once a girl child starts menstruating, she's not supposed to go to school. And in many of the villages and rural areas, we also have the thing like they have to get married as soon as they cycle starts. So give them this awareness. So we always say that health is wealth. So make sure even the girl child also like period poverty is the main thing. What many of the schools in India still 35% of girl child is not getting a right education because of the period and lack of education about the periods and lack of education and mainly how to use period products. So, being an health and hygiene educator and being a volunteer, it's all our duty to speak to children and to give them the right awareness and to deal with the period, how to have our healthy diets. When it comes to health, I agree with the Chitra that she mentioned almost all the disorders. We have the PMS and we'll be having some mood swings and also cramps, sometimes anxiety, everything we feel. So we should have a right food habits when it comes to when our period is near. We have to make sure like our food habits is good so that we can deal with the period. Sometimes, due to hormonal balance, due to hormonal levels in our body, we also face many things. One is PMS, of course, premenstrual syndrome, which we face. With this, also we face headache, dizziness, anything. So we have to make sure our diet is good. So avoid when it comes to how to maintain your perfect health routines coming to the period. So I want to tell you that avoid some caffeines when you have avoid tea or something. Have hot milk and have hot any kind of what like you drink some fresh juice. Avoid contained juices. Use fresh juice and also discuss with your mother, discuss with your friends that you're feeling this one. So, with this, I just want to end my talk by saying health is well. So make sure you have one talk with any of your friends. It might be a girl or a boy. Make sure that you're speaking about the menstruation. You're giving that awareness so that we can help our girl child to get the right education and we can make our healthy India. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mansa ma'am. We are glad to hear it from you. Our fourth panelist is Dr. Mithali Rathor. She is MS obstetrician and gynecologist, trained sonologist and laparoscopic surgeon. She is passionate about hormones and menstrual cycle. So she provides online consultant and holistic care for women starting from menarche to menopause. She had worked at Civil Hospital of Gandhinagar in the past. During the time of COVID pandemic, she had served for patients, especially for pregnant ones, did their deliveries as well as surgeries. Her way of practice is different from others as she treats her patients as a whole in a holistic manner. Her goal is to serve women of all reproductive age group worldwide, burst those myths that doesn't serve us and educate women to feel empowered in their bodies. The stage is all yours, Dr. Mithali.
Thank you so much, Disha. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
are.
Okay, yeah. So, hello everyone, and thank you so much for your precious time that you are spending with me now on this Sunday. I'm truly grateful for your presence. So, let's quickly understand that the physiology of female body and how important periods are because I'm so passionate about hormones and how that functions. So the menstruation is also called as the fifth vital sign and a monthly report card that we get every single month. So uh, with we are we as a women we are blessed with beautiful sets of hormones and they act as a orchestral play by beautifully rising and falling and without even us to know completely. So what happens with the period is that with the onset of periods, which is also considered as a day one of our cycle, so the hormones they starts to hit the rock bottom and they rises slowly, And I think that is completely important during that time, that we feel less in energy, mild cramps, and less in the flow of blood or spotting initially, and then the actual bleeding starts. So with the onset of bleeding on day 1 or 2 or 3 or the later part of the cycle, our hormone starts to rise again. So with the surge of hormones, we physically might feel that changes in our appetite, our sleep, like sleep disturbances that could vary from excessive sleep on some days to being lethargic on other days. We might feel that we do have lack of motivation to do task on day 1 or 2. So this is completely normal, and you are not supposed to work tirelessly on each and every single day of your cycle. So with the later part of the cycle, we might feel with the rise of hormone estrogen that we are energetic, we feel good sensation, we might feel that the motivation is coming back, we might feel that the cramps are getting better and better with moderate flow and the clarity in our thoughts. So as a female body, it is so sad nowadays to see that we are called as so many names, like being hormonal, and how our periods are portrayed as, being untouchables, and you cannot touch certain things, you cannot enter inside the temple, and you cannot enter into your own house kitchen, and you cannot touch certain things until you wash your hairs. So how we have been early, so initially we were taught, like, we are surrounded by so many taboos on virginity front, and how the even as the time of, the 21st century, the social media has portrayed something like mood disturbances and food cravings that has been portrayed. So even during this time, rather than being educated, of course there are so many beautiful people out there and they do such tremendous and fabulous job to teach us, but still we are living in this era where we are not provided with a complete menstrual education. And regarding the equality front, we have so many taboos regarding the female virginity, and rather than the providing such right kind of education, we are surrounded by so many misconstructs. So at the end of the day, what I want to share is that our body does so many things for us and without even letting us know. So it is so important to understand that, believe me, every single human body is different, and even though we have trillions of similar kind of cells, our physiology is quite different, and no two women are bleed alike. So let's understand and draw that line between the what is considered as a normal and what is abnormal. So what is so let's stop believing the facts that excessive period cramps that are not normal, even though your mother have bleeded that way, your nanny has bleeded that way, your sister or any of your family member has such bad kind of cramps, that does not mean that you should also pass through that kind of pain. Meanwhile, taking the antispasmodic pills, like and the painkillers here and there, that is considered as normal, but believe me, we have to draw that line somewhere, that popping a pill every single month is not something normal. Having that feeling of excessive sugar cravings and salt cravings and just crazy PMS that has been portrayed for women, that is not normal. So this is high time that we honor our body, we take care of ourselves, and we educate ourselves on the same front. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mithali, for your influential message. We also have Neha Khandeka as our guest, who is a social entrepreneur at a very young age of 21 years. She wishes to change the way people perceive menstruation and initiate a period positive dialogue in the society. She is a determined gender right activist and a menstrual health educator. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's really great. It's a really great feeling to be among all these professionals, and I'll try to share my 2 cents. So I'm gonna talk about why it is important to talk about periods, and I absolutely agree with Srishti ma'am when she said just talking about it isn't right, but talking about right things in the right way is also important. As far as people like me who have no professional medical background, I think we can make sure we are assimilating and contributing the right information and not creating a bigger problem by misleading others. uh, Ever since I was very young, I have always questioned certain practices. Whenever my mom would take me to the medical shop, I'd always ask her, why do we need to wrap these pads? I mean, they already come in a packaging. And then the way people or media, the periods are portrayed by the media and in the media has always been very problematic for me. Every time a girl in a period ad would get her periods, she'd just wear a pad and then she'd start doing cartwheels and jumping. Uh, and I mean, I never understood it because there never was an open dialogue. But it was something that would not seem right to my little brain. So that's how my curiosity began about periods and the stigma and taboo around it. That is why I'm really really passionate about creating the right and open dialogue around periods. There's a lot of talk about being inclusive, and we've also started talking about involving trans men and non-binary people who also menstruate. But I think the small changes that we can do is using the term menstruators instead of women, which involves all of us, and also that there are a lot of women who don't menstruate. So by just saying women menstruate or girls menstruate, we are putting all, I mean, we are making them feel like they're missing out on something, or they're less of a person because they're not getting periods. So these are the things I'm really passionate about. And That is why I use Instagram and make funny reels and try to slip these things into conversations, so that at least it at least what I may not have the medical knowledge, but at least I can create an impression that these things are really fine to talk about. You can talk about them like you talk about weather, or like you talk about, oh, did you see these new dresses in this store? Like, so casual. So that's one of my main wishes and goals with Vimix Cup. And I also agree with Chitra ma'am and Srishti ma'am, about the pressure or the shame people feel when they're not using certain products like menstrual cups or tampons. I myself never used tampons. I was always using pads. And then because I started Vimix Cup, I experimented a little with cups. But I make sure at any point, I'm even among friends, I'm not pressurizing anyone to use the cups, because like Chitra ma'am said, our first goal is to get everyone who menstruates on the planet, get them access to some kind of period product which suits them. And for that we need to give them the right education and the right means to explore these products and see which fits them, because every body is different, every person is different, their needs are different. So that is our first main challenge. And then managing menstrual waste and introduction of eco-friendly products. And in fact, menstrual cups are not the only eco-friendly products out there. We have so many variation with pads and even tampons. So I think educating them and letting them know that you have all these products, and talking about it to the point that the government or the policymakers make sure these products are exempted from tax and easily available to everyone, is what we can do, I feel. And once we are somewhere near tackling that challenge, then we can talk a little more about eco-friendly products and greener planet and things related to that. So these are my 2 cents, and I hope I didn't say anything wrong or incorrect. And thank you so much for hearing me out.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. We are honored and excited to hear you all as our guest and feel inspired.
Absolutely right, Disha. So, my first question is from Chitra ma'am. More than 75% of women have experienced the effects of menstruation on physical and mental health in their lifetime. But this topic remains untouched. So, can you please throw some light on the same? Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. So, as you said, that more than 70% of people, what I want to say that over 90% in a research, over 90% of people, like women, there were some women who took part in that research, and over 90% of them said that they get at least one symptom of PMS. That is, either they are getting mood swings, they are getting bloating, cramps, but they get at least one symptom of PMS. So, as I said earlier, that these things need to be addressed, and these things needs to be talked about, not only with your mother, with your, like, with whom you want. Maybe it can be your friend, it can be your brother, it can be your father, not just a woman to woman. You know what I want to say? And these conversations needs to be open, because menstruation is considered a taboo from a long period of time. And these things are made by us, right? Women were kept in a room so that they can bleed, because we used to blame the earlier times कि पहले के ज़माने में तो हमें वुमेन को ऐसे एक जगह पे बिठा देते थे ताकि वो ब्लीड करे, क्योंकि ये सब गंदा होता है, बट यू डोंट नो द रियल एस्पेक्ट दे यूज्ड टू गिव, because that at that time we didn't have like much of period products. People used to use clothes and rags, so women were given 3 to 4 days of rest, so that you can rest, you can sit at a place and do whatever you want. But these things, as time grew, they just became myths and misconceptions.
Yes.
So we need to break that taboo also, and we need to. I'm so happy that Today we all are from different fields, from psychology, gynecologists, and menstrual health educators. We all gather together, and we are actually talking about it. And we all must try to address these things whenever we get a chance. That is what I need to say. And all about the PMS and the symptoms. Of course, you can look on YouTube, or you can get a help from a doctor if you want. And do not ever consider your symptoms less. If you are getting severe cramps, severe cramps are not always okay. सम पीपल आपकी मम्मी कहेगी कभी कभी कि अरे तुम्हें सीवियर क्रैम्प्स हो रहे हैं तो क्या हो गया, तुम बच्चा कैसे पैदा करोगी, ये तो छोटी मोटी बात है. बट सम पीपल गेट सीवियर क्रैम्प्स, और इसके पीछे का रीजन बहुत ऐसा हो सकता है कि यू कैन हैव फाइब्रॉइड्स, यू कैन हैव PCOS, यू कैन हैव एंडोमेट्रियोसिस, यू नेवर नो. So you need to recognize these symptoms, and you need to go to a doctor. You need to go to a psychologist, therapist, and a gynecologist to get yourself checked. Or अगर कुछ नहीं भी हुआ, you are not losing anything, right? You are just getting yourself assured. So that is what I want to say.
Thank you, ma'am, for such informative facts. Now, my next question is from Dr. Mithali. Ma'am, it is a very common question that arises in every girl's mind, that what precautions should they take to reduce the severe effects of PMS? Please guide us, ma'am.
Okay, so the PMS is so commonly is surrounded by so many misconceptions nowadays. So PMS, when happens, is the number one kind of misconception we are surrounded with. So there are so many types of symptoms that we face, and those symptoms are different from different women. Okay, that differs from different women. So there might be some emotional kind of disturbances, excessive sugar cravings, mental fog, and the some might feel that they are prone to have more of salt cravings and all of that stuff. But believe me, if your hormones are completely balanced, and if your estrogen and progesterone rises and falls during the normal manner, you are never ever going to face such kinds of symptoms. Because see, I was once there back then during my post graduation time, when I was facing severe kind of period cramps every single month, and you won't believe me, but I used to take 6 or 7 pills a day, and even after that my periods were so heavy and so painful that if that pain does not get subsided by the tablets, I used to take injections even 2 to 3 times a day. But I was not properly allowed to take rest because our work was that hectic during those time of 2015-16 when I was doing my post graduation. So even though I was surrounded by so many doctors, they were not ready to understand what I am passing through. So if we try to look and expect that kind of care from our surrounding, that is quite useless. But the number one thing which I want to share is that you should not ask for that kind of validation from anyone. Okay, you are facing such issues, you are facing excessive bloating, you faces such kind of tender breast, that even I used to face that kind of mastalgia, in which my breasts were like so much sore and I couldn't walk properly. So these kinds of symptoms are because of the underlying hormonal imbalance. And even if your blood report or your doctor might says that your reports are normal, you should not believe into that. You should always try to understand yourself and what you are passing through. And you should, if that is something that you should consider, you should consider to ask for a second opinion always. Okay, so that is the first thing. This is what I'm sharing from my personal story. Okay, so the PMS symptoms are, of course, very commonly seen these days because our lifestyle is disrupted at so many levels, right? Like we are sleeping here and there, we are eating like junk food, and we are far from the raw and real kind of food. So that could be the reason. The underlying nutritional deficiency of vitamin B5, vitamin E, magnesium. We are also becoming couch potato day by day, and the sitting is considered as a second form of the new form of addiction, that is second to the smoking. So these are the reasons because of which PMS symptoms are so commonly and profoundly seen these days. But that whatever that has portrayed over a social media is far away from reality. So if you are facing mild to moderate kind of symptoms, you should give yourself a time of at least 2 to 3 cycles, during which you could help yourself and you could pamper yourself like a baby. And even after then, your symptoms are up to so much severity, you should always go out there and ask for a help of a professional in the form of gynecologist or psychologist, or you could ask for a therapy like that. But communication is the key. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Dr. Mithali. I think our viewers will surely adopt the precautions suggested by you. So my next question is from Shishti ma'am. As we all know that social constraints of menstrual etiquettes restricts women to discuss about menstrual issues. What role can a family physician or a gynecologist play to overcome these barriers?
Okay. So without a doubt, I would say that, as I mentioned, it's like the society, the community, family. These are the various layers in society that we deal and interact with. Okay. I'm sorry, there's a little bit of disturbance of sound. I think, can everyone hear it? Oh,
No,
okay. Thank
not
you.
so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, it's gone. Actually, I'm wearing earphones, so it was really loud. So, in my experience, first of all, in society, women and menstruators, I think I learned something from Neha today. Thank you so much. I learned something from everyone today. It's like truly, you think you know a lot, but then you meet wonderful people who teach you more. So, menstruators, and in our society, there is an approach that why to go to a doctor till there is, don't fix until something that is not a problem. That is a big problem in itself. Okay, I think one should have a stable doctor in their life who's actually not only knowledgeable about the anatomy and the physiology and everything, but someone who's correct in their mindset towards things. Okay, there are like horrible experiences that I've heard from many people regarding gynecologists, and then there are also amazing experiences that I've heard. So a good gynecologist is like uh, a boon to any menstruator. So I think it is very, very important for women and trust your feelings. If you're not feeling safe with a doctor, if you're feeling judged, You're not insane. Don't gaslight your own self. Go find the right doctor, read their reviews. I always say this to everyone on every platform. When you're going to a healthcare practitioner, go through their reviews always. Okay. And I understand that, out of 100, one or two reviews might be bad. Even the most perfect person will have that. But look at what the majority is saying, about the attitude of the doctor. Because I think there is one doctor who will sit down, listen to you genuinely, who will give you at least 15, 20, 30 minutes if required. Okay. And then there's one doctor that will be like, oh, okay, patient, parcha kato, niklo. So that attitude is not going to go a long way with respect to the mental health of any menstruator that approaches a doctor, let it be a general physician or a family doctor or a gynecologist. So I think whatever intuitively or mentally you feel about a doctor, that will go in a big that will help you in a big way, because in mental health studies, or I think whenever you're even testing the efficacy of a medicine in psychiatry, then you check the you compare it to placebos. Placebos basically means that they're not really medicines, but the patient believes that it is medicine. So you see, actually, in some studies in mild depression, mild anxiety, the placebos worked well. The patient just believed that this will make me better, and there was a reduction in the intensity of the symptoms. So just by being a warm presence in the patient's life, and not just patient, even if you're perfectly healthy, it is good to get those checkups done and to follow through with a doctor every 6 months or at least once a year. So just a good doctor can be the strongest placebo with respect to your mental health, with respect to your physical ailments also. Like Dr. Mithali, the way she spoke, I'm absolutely sure that every patient that goes to her, will feel really happy and satisfied after leaving, not just because she gave medicines, but then she was a good listener, she was empathetic, she was understanding, and she understand what it's like to go through the pain. So I think in any healthcare professions, uh, if we don't take care of ourselves, then we reach a point where we sometimes get frustrated and affected by listening to the same concerns over and over and over again. So it is important for healthcare practitioners also to be really self-aware and to have that relationship with their own mental health, in a way that whenever a client comes to you, you see each client as a unique individual with unique concerns. And just the way you talk acts like such a strong placebo that the client uh, automatically feels comforted and relaxed. So that is what I have to say on the subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful message. Now, my next question is from Mansa, ma'am. Ma'am, lack of proper menstrual tools can really affect a girl's life. So, ma'am, what do you think that lack of medical awareness and outreach is a major reason for period poverty, which affects the attendance of schools and the overall education of children? Kindly share your views.
Yes, I already mentioned that few of the kids are unaware about the products we get in the market. So in that case, in the schools or anything, we should have a proper awareness or the proper classes knowledge to all the kids. It's not wrong to try all kind of period products which we have in our market. So if you are comfortable with some reusable sanitary pads, you go with that. If you are comfortable with the any other napkins, you go for it. And cups, if you're comfortable with the cups and tampons, it's not wrong to try all the products. But once you are comfortable with any of the products, you can go with that. So coming to awareness in the schools, and that's many of the girl child is not going to the school and getting back from the school is because of course lack of awareness. And many schools even now, not just a school, in many of the home we don't find the toilet, we don't find a proper toilet. So having a proper toilet is a right. So we have to ask that proper toilet is a right. If it does not, if you are not having a toilet, it's your right. So ask for it, fight for it. So when it comes to a girl child who is not not going to the school, and because of the menstruation, because of this period, she is missing her best of best school days. Losing 5 days a month is also like it is affecting her education. Education is a right. Education is a right of every individual. So if she is missing school, then we have to take care, a school teacher or a parents, we have to make sure she is knowing all the products and how to use that products. And when we have to give them the knowledge that when the periods are near, when they're about to start their menstruation, how we always have a travel kit with us whenever we travel from city to city. At the same time, we all should have a period kit with us, so which contains our panties and which have products which we are comfortable with, whichever the period products which we are comfortable with, we should have that, and we should also have other products, so that every girl child should get this awareness and knowledge in all the areas, and especially in the rural areas, because the rural area girls are not getting proper education because of this period. So, from the government level or from any of the level, and we being the educators, we have to make sure that even all the teachers knows how to give the awareness. We can't go and reach to each and every schools. So, but teachers can have a good interaction with them, and we also give them the good awareness that when their cycle starts and when their cycle ends, every girl child should know this. Only when that we can tackle with this. And coming to yes, there is very less medical awareness in the world, not just in India. We have lack of medical awareness and everything. So in this case, as Mithali and Srishti said, yes, we have to consult a doctor not just when we are facing any issues, when we are having any kind of health related issues. We also have a good relation with our doctor where we can openly speak about the issues or problems what we are facing. So, same coming to the girl child in the rural areas, or if she's not going to a school, we have to check whether she is getting a proper water to use the menstrual products, and if she is using the reusable, or if we have to make sure there is a dustbin so that she can use another napkins or something. So our duties or our responsibility starts when the girl child is born in our family. So in every school, there should be a toilet, and if there is no toilets in your schools or home, it's your right to fight for it. And yes, these are the only points which I want to highlight here. Have your period kit and all, and discuss with the doctor or discuss with your teachers, especially the school going child. If you are a mother, or if we don't have we don't want, we should not have, like, I can't say that. It's not really needed that we have a proper education or not, but education regarding menstruation we should have. So whether we go to school or not, if mother or father, like they face the school or not, but they should have a proper education about the menstruation, so that they can give the right education, menstruation education to the girl child, so that she can go to school, she can continue her studies, and only a healthy individual can be productive and at school levels or productive in any of the aspects. So we have to, being an educator, we have to make sure we have to give that awareness to all the school child, all the girls or anyone who is menstruating, and we also have to fight with this, and that every girl should get a right toilet and everything, all the materials, and we have to make sure that India should be a healthy India, and also educated India. Every individual should be educated in India. Uh, so I just want to end my talk here. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, surely. We'll make together India a healthy, period positive society. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience with us and valid pointers. Now, I think we have discussed on the various dimensions of this topic and learned a lot from our guest. I'm very thankful to you all. A big thanks to all our honorable guests for sharing such insightful words. It will definitely help us in future, and I believe we all are very motivated after listening to you all. It will be a great pleasure for us to listen to you all again in our future events. Over to you, Disha.
Now, moving on to our student speakers. Today, we have three participants from an article writing competition on the theme Menstrual Health and Hygiene and its impact on education. Richa, please introduce them.
Our first student speaker is Priyanka Bomic, who is an MBA student from Symbiosis Institute of International Business, Pune. For her, writing has been a panacea. She is also an active member of the SIIB ISR committee, Kshitij, which works to educate impoverished and disadvantaged children. She believes in the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Let's hear it out from her only. Priyanka is not in the meeting.
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, please continue.
So, first of all, yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay. So, first of all, I'd really like to thank this organization for giving me this opportunity and platform for expressing my views. And I also like to appreciate Project Vedana for creating awareness about the hush nature around the menstrual talks. It is very wonderful how they are driving this initiative oriented towards social impact. And from today's discussion, from such great distinguished speakers, I learned a lot about the different aspects of health, fitness, which are around the menstrual talks. It was very insightful and an eye-opening experience for me. And probably there are some takeaways that I will apply in my life also. I learned a lot from this. So, coming to my topic, which I have written in the article. So, there are some life instances that I have always questioned regarding menstruation and the talk about menstruation. So, there is a particular brand of sanitary napkin that actually talks about keeping it low, keeping it murmur about it. And it actually is associated with the shame and secrecy which is associated with buying such sanitary product. And as per me, I think that the brand name should actually change and it shouldn't even be used. We should be loud and proud about being a menstruator for beyond genders as well. And the same thing, the same in secrecy, this was also very much depicted in like I remember one of the lines from movie Padman. I that Radhika Apte she says that, and it actually led me to think about it. She says that हम औरतों के लिए बीमारी से मरना शर्म के साथ जीने से बेहतर है. So she was representing a rural woman. So this actually represents how women in rural sectors and also in some other strata, they think about their menstrual hygiene and sanitation. And it also represents how our cultural beliefs are overshadowing they are undermining a very normal and natural phenomenon of menstruation. The same thing I have highlighted in my article. So my article is about how pop culture and mainstream media can actually help in normalizing the stigma associated with menstruation. So from what during writing my article, I've came across various research studies, and at last I could conclude that yes, mainstream media has had their input. They have tried to break stereotypes, uh, but to some extent they have also, what from their perspective, it was more of a sales pitch, a marketing gimmick, as I could say. And there are some other notable mentions also, like the same actress that I've talked about. She was also part of one such sanitary napkin, which actually represented the period blood as as it is. So these are some of the things which I learned, which I would say are the takeaways while going through this journey of writing this research article. And at last, I would like to say this: yes, it is still a very brutal road towards normalizing the stigma around menstruation. But yes, it is not an impossible task. And again, once again, I would like to thank Sarkari School for giving me this opportunity and listen to such amazing, great speakers. Thank you all. Thank you again.
Thank you, Priyanka. So our next student speaker is Ananya Gupta, who is a first year student at Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, Pitampura, Delhi. She is currently pursuing bachelor's in journalism and mass communication. She has always believed in the thought that words hold the power to make a big change in the society and has always been keen to write articles towards the betterment of the society. With this thought, she decided to participate in the competition initiated under Project Vedana. The stage is all yours, Ananya.
Just a minute, Disha. I know that our guests have taken out their precious time to join our panel. So I would request them that they can leave the panel so that our other student speakers can join us. Thank you, everyone. Ananya, you can
All
continue.
right. Thank you so much for having us. It was a great honor, and I learned a lot from the fellow panelists, and all the best to the students. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Am I audible?
Yes, Ananya.
Yeah. So first of all, greetings of the day, everyone. First of all, I would like to express how grateful I am to get an opportunity to be a part of this amazing initiative. We really needed a safe platform where we could talk about this very natural process, menstruation, and it's an honor to speak on such a social issue which might be close to many of the people present here. We are living in the 21st century, but menstruation is a word that society still restrains to even spell. Even in schools, there's a lack of adequate knowledge about menstruation, and even if there is some, they always talk about what is it and how it happens. Why not tell the children about the taboos and the myths associated with it? Menstruators and non-menstruators both should have a fair knowledge about this very natural process. um, if you guys remember, in 2020, there was a case in Gujarat where teachers of a school asked those who were menstruating to prove it by stripping down their pants. I've also talked
Yeah.
about the incident in my article in detail. So, such incidents are very prominent in many other schools as well, which are just not reported. We all must have heard or one or the other myths and taboos related to menstruation, or rather experience some of the restrictions put during menstruation. The only thing they can say when asked is it's impure. Very less percent of menstruators have someone to guide them to in their teen years, which further leads to lack of awareness and issues like anxiety. However, there are places like Nagaland, which consider menstruation as a symbol of power. In 2020, there was a whole social media campaign led by Nagaland, which was also called the Red Dot Challenge. Under this initiative, which was called the Menstrual Initiative Nagaland, 130 biodegradable sanitary pads were distributed to the marginalized community in Nagaland. At the end, I would just like to say that it was a wonderful feeling to participate in this initiative and work toward a problem that was that so many relate to. There were various things while writing this article that I wasn't aware about earlier, but now I'm keen to learn about. There's a lot in the society that still needs to change, and menstruation as a social evil is one of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ananya. Keep inspiring the world with your words. Our next student speaker is Disha Gite, who is a first year MBA student from Singham Institute of Management Studies, Research and Entrepreneurship Education, Mumbai. She has also volunteered for an NGO for fundraising and likes to participate in article writing competitions, which can make an impact in the society. Over to you, Disha. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Richa, for the wonderful introduction. Hi, my name is Disha. I'm from Mumbai. I have completed my IT engineering and currently I am pursuing my MBA. I'm really honored to speak in this conference with the wonderful people around here. When I saw the topic menstruation, I was very excited because this topic always interests me. Because whenever I research about this topic, every time I get to learn something new out of it. And being born in a financially stable family and living in one of the largest cities in the world, I always had that implicit privilege where I get to do things whenever I and whatever I want to do. And but during my research for the article, I got to know about the girls and women who live in refugee camps, war torn areas, in orphanages, in homeless people, and also tribal people who live in far remote areas. They do not have access to normal supplies. I get for me, menstruation was never an issue because I always had the supplies for it. I had, access to the sanitary napkins, water, soap, clothes, everything. But these women, they, even for them to get a clean water was a luxury. And I felt so bad. I could feel the pain for how they must be dealing with these situations. And but the best part is when I got to know about the top 20 winners, and I also saw many boys who wrote article on menstruation. I was really glad because education on menstruation for girls is very important, but it is equally important for boys to know about it. Whenever any uncertain situation or unfortunate situation occurs, they should be able to help us. They should be able to help female around them. And one of the growing economies in the world, where we have reached so far in our technology, industrialization, politics. So we should also have openly discussion about menstruation. One thing I've realized by writing this article is we only create barriers for ourselves. If we start to talk, then only conversation will occur. So I think Project Vedna is doing really great work, and there should be many more such projects and NGOs working on menstruation, so that talking about menstruation should be very normal, and people shouldn't hesitate to talk about it. And many such conversations and conference should take place. And thank you so much. I'm really glad that I participated in this competition and got to speak here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Disha, for your insightful words. Even our Project Vedna also had launched Gift Pad campaign where many boys took part, and it was really great to see them participating in such a thing which we are generally call a hush hush topic. Generally, people don't talk about it. Many times we have seen that people are reluctant to talk. Even we organized a social experiment where we talked to general people, even on any on bus, on roads, and like that. But they were like, no, we are not going to talk on this topic. So now I'm going to conclude this meet. Now I would like to request Mansi to conclude this event by her words of thanks. Over to you, Mansi.
Thank you, Richa. With the successful completion of our third panel, I am here to present vote of thanks from the whole team of Sarkari School. I express my gratitude to our honorable guest, Miss Srishti Asthana, Chitra Singh, Mansa Shithamba, Dr. Mithali Rathor, and Neha Khandeka, and also the student speakers. माननीय अतिथिगण, मैं आप सभी का बहुत बहुत आभार प्रकट करती हूँ। आप सबने अपना कीमती समय निकालकर हमारे इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाया और हमें मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ एंड फिटनेस के पहलुओं से अवगत करवाया। आज के सभी गेस्ट स्पीकरों के विचारों को सुनकर हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा। आज के कार्यक्रम की वजह से अवश्य ही लड़कियों में मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ एंड हाइजीन मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ एंड फिटनेस को लेकर जागरूकता पैदा हुई होगी। इन सभी के विचार सुनकर हम सभी को वास्तव में बहुत प्रेरणा मिली है। आप सभी का हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़ने और इसे सफल बनाने के लिए मैं अपनी पूरी टीम की तरफ से आप सभी का बहुत बहुत आभार प्रकट करती हूँ। Last but not the least, I am thanking our viewers, organizing team members, anchors, and volunteers for their contribution in this event. All of you worked so hard for this conference. Our next session is Fireside Chat Alumni of Sarkari School on Menstrual Health and Hygiene with the guest Pragya Chaudhary, Anushka Jain, Gitanjali, Shraddha Bhadwaj, Pooja Patil. I would like you all join this session as well. And I would like to thank and congratulate our host for the successful completion of the panel. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mansi. We can end this meeting.